Hello, it's KRBrickBot, and with the popularity of the Mecard and Mecard Ball franchise, in the case of Mecard Ball, someone returned the form for cars that auto-transform. Older kids might have thought, I'm not really interested in cars that auto-spring into mechs and creatures, and that's the only thing it does, without any articulation or anything. I want action figure versions of these characters as seen on TV. And I guess Xaver had a similar idea because, behold, this is an action figure of the popular main character Mecard Ball character, Akan. And also a companion character, Phoneixaver. Yes, these two came as a set for like the premier Mecard Ball DX Akan Phoneixaver set. You know, it's been forever since I've seen the DX moniker on any Korean toy. You know, DX is an unofficial term referred to most of the big Korean and Japanese toys, but this is the first for officially. Yeah, just like DX right here and then DX right here. Yep, there's the English name right there. It's a Phoenixaver. It's not Phoneixaver because this is like part of the Phoenix. I mean, full Phoenix name would be Phoenixaver, but there's no X here, so I guess it's a Xaver. It's a compound match, so it's Phoenixaver. Yeah, that makes it more unique. It even has a scale. According to them, this is a 1/35th scale. And also DX Xaver Wing version. You know, implies there are different versions, but this is the only set so far. Couple of disclaimers: not compatible with the main Mecard Ball toys. Not suitable for under 3 years. The toy varies from the actual illustrations. Then 2022 Xaver. Over on this corner, we have a 6+, the TV advertisement. I guess especially registered in Korea. Improves AQ of play. And product number Mecard Ball HD6. Yeah, I guess it's continuing. Yeah, the HG, or maybe, I guess, high-grade series unofficially is used for those Mega Combiner Mecardable mechs. Yeah, but it's not in the same style as those, so I guess they just decided to continue that series instead of making a new one. Yeah, but looking at the box design, this feels really premium, like a premium kidult product. Yeah, it doesn't have the same graphic design styles as the main Mecard Ball toys. Yeah, just a beautiful illustration here, like those flares and the two figures here. And the English name right here. Yeah, just the black border and just this background here. That's really, yeah, no extra fluff or flashiness. You know, these are just subtly on the bottom. I mean, the product information just subtly on the bottom rather than the top corner. Yeah, so that really gives a different feel from the main Mecard Ball toys. The right side of the box shows the toy photos of Akan and a Xaver Wing combiner manual. Combination manual. Yeah, so yeah, it's very simple steps for attaching those. And then the little bio here for Akan. On the left side, we have the Phoneixaver and how to attach her tail. That was attached separately, and then the Xaver Wing combined manual and her bio here. The top of the box is just like a cropped version and rearranged version of this main image of them, them in front of the Earth. And the back side of the box is all a vertical portrait, so in case you want to display the box this way. Yeah, just basically the same illustration, but you get a clear view of Akan and then Phoneixaver. There's the Earth, some planet, and looks like the ruins of some civilization, which is actually like the ruins, the dystopian wasteland ruins of the first Earth from a war, because the Mecard Ball technology originated from this Earth. And then it eventually migrated to this Earth, the Earth we currently live on, which according to this fiction is the Neo-Earth. I guess a second alternate universe Earth. That is what I remember from the top of my head seeing the Mecard Ball series. Yes, for once I followed through the Mecard Ball series, which I haven't done since the original Mecard series. I completely skipped over the RC cars, dinos, ghosts, and Basha. Yeah, so we have this pretty sophisticated outer box, and then the inner box is all the cardboard fiber, which doesn't quite look pretty if you had that in an open box. And yeah, you would expect just a plastic casing to be in these type of premium products. But to be fair, that cardboard's sturdier. Yeah, just looking at this thing as it is a cool robot design that kind of looks like it turns into a car. The blue and white color combination is always a good color combination. I guess that is a heroic style, and I guess it is really very much an Asian anime-inspired design. Just from observation, I'd say anime mechs just tend to have like hard angles. Like just, you know, those angles here, not much curvature. And also especially those legs. I guess those tapered legs, you know, where they get bigger on the bottom. And you have very smooth surfaces. Hard angles and smooth surfaces. Not many facets here. Yeah, and ignore the screw holes. Yeah, just see a very nice style design. It kind of looks like a little bit retro. Yeah, this is what I mean by anime Gundam mecha inspired. Just got very long legs, like very smooth legs with some hard angles here, but a little more curvature on this one. And the blue and white and a bit of yellow color scheme. And speaking of legs, yeah, those are very long legs. Yep, that much the torso and that rest of the legs. Just, he didn't get leg day. That's an awfully small torso, yet it looks perfectly fine for a mecha. It gets the stylized, it gets the stylization really makes it fine. I mean, and then the torso, yeah, the torso area, pretty nicely detailed there, and a nice metallic painted blue ball. This is where the Mecard ball would go. I guess it's about the similar size, but this is permanently fused in. There is no toy gimmick integration. But yeah, also nice pretty shoulders, like yellow gem-like facets on the front. Short arms, I guess those are anime style arms, and the yellow cuffs, and like a blue arm guards. Then come around the back, guess you have little winglets, like these lower winglets and these shoulders coming around to the back. You do have these little winglets, these lower winglets here, and these upper winglets with these adjustable wheels. Yeah, just move these down to reveal his rocket boosters for some anime style flying. Coming around to the back, you have these little winglets and these rocket boosters. And these wheels that really give it some flair, which can be adjusted down with a soft click to reveal his rocket booster jets there. Wish there was a little more black paint on there to make it stand out. As with the torso, maybe this could have been a little blue, but you can see there's the Mecard symbol right on his back, rather than the front. That is a pretty awesome mecha-like head sculpt. Like with his giant chin, his giant mouth plate chin that goes over the mouth plate. Yeah, and then like at least 4 extruding, you know, crests. 2 on the side here, and then the yellow. I guess it might look a little weird that the yellow kind of bleeds over the red central crest there, but that is intentional part of the design. As with a little vent there and some green eyes to really make it stand out. Yeah, it is very precisely painted. It's in a very good lightness of the head sculpt, unlike the little Mecard's kind of little squishy type. Yeah, that's kind of a loose interpretation of that actual animation model. And also, why does he have a goatee? And speaking of which, there is not much in the car mode that you see on the bot mode. I mean, there are just the iconic parts, but not everything to indicate that this toy can transform on its own. Come on. I mean, obviously the car wheels, which are not the same design actually, but that is animation accurate. And the fronts of the cars with the headlights, those are replicated with those lines there. And the windscreen, I guess the 2 halves of the top of the roof of the windscreen, just they really reshaped themselves into proper arm guards. Yeah, there's a lining there, so that matches up. And these little car wings, I guess they elongate into these winglets with an elongated door handle there. If that is a door handle. But yeah, I guess it's some sort of reaction, reorganized. Yeah, but I guess that is just a really reshaped form of the loose interpretation of this car. He comes with one accessory, his iconic weapon, the Akan blade. It is all transparent orange with some very nice painted blue here, and a blue ball hilt and a silver trim, and across the blade here. Would have liked some red in there for show accuracy, but this is as close as it gets. So that goes right into his 5mm hand, yep. Oh yeah, that looks like an epic warrior. Lightsaber energy. Superficial, actually this thing should be the hilt and this should go all the way down instead of just at the end of the hilt. So he's just like holding at the base of the hilt. Yeah, but it doesn't look that bad. But as a DX set, I really would have liked to see his full set of accessories, like his twin pistol guns and the Akan arrow bow, unlocked from convergence energy. But I guess the sword is his most iconic weapon, so I guess this is sufficient for them. This is a dedicated robot action figure. I expect nothing less than the full range of articulation. He does have a ball socket head, so it's a little bit of side to side and up and down, all around, and oh, that's a little creaky. Nice clickety rackety shoulders. All the way out. And almost 90-degree elbow bend, and no bicep swivels on those tiny little, those awfully short forearm biceps. Yeah, but at least he has a lower arm swivel. Of course, no wrist swivel, but at least he can swing his sword around to form an Akan energy shield. The shoulders are hinged on their own. Yeah, but as you see, these are pretty tight, so you don't even notice that these are separate pieces. 3 skirt flaps, so his legs can go all the way forward and all the way back and all the way out. And a 90-degree knee with a full thigh swivel. Bit of a side-to-side ankle tilt. And a little bit of a toe forward and a little bit of a toe back. With this red flap that moves in place to cover that gap. You have to manually put it back in though. All things considered, the leg articulation is very good for a Korean toy. Would have liked for the ankle tilts to be a bit more, but at least it has ankle tilts. Yeah, but the upper arms, you know, half biceps, so not the full range it could be, but it's decent. And then, of course, no waist swivel. Would have really liked the waist swivel with the ball socket type so you could really, you know, flex side to side. This feels like more of an older kid's figure rather than like a fully dedicated collector's robot mecha action figure with all the posability. Yeah, but I suppose this articulation for Akan is sufficient for its core audience, I guess. Yeah, it's not the terrible articulation, but I wish it could have been better. Alright, scale. This toy is about 20 centimeters tall, and then multiply it by the 35th scale, that would be about 700 centimeters, which equates to about 22 American feet. Which, in Transformers toy scale, that equates to about a tall Voyager. But then, Akan is a car, so I was more inclined to think he was a DX, that was the scale of a deluxe. But either he's much bigger than a car deluxe transformer because this is not a scaled transforming car, or he's just about the same size as a car robot. I don't know, I think he's a pretty tall mecha, all things considered. So this is probably accurate scale. You want Akan to turn into a car? Well, he has pinned wheels, so I suppose you could do this. Yeah, just hinge those feet up. Give clearance, flip this down a bit. Wings up. And a bit of a crouch, so he can't roll on those wheels. The rolling kick doop-dee-doo. Now, the other half of the set, Phoneixaver. Probably not as popular as Akan, the popular humanoid. Probably the creature mechanicals are not as popular. The main toy line, she is one of those large Mecard car carrier launching things. Just like the Mega Mecardimals of old. Phase 1! Phase 2! This is a very animation accurate rendition of the giant robotic white Phoenix. Yeah, that does look like a vehicular chest with a special unique emblem and what looks like the headlights. Yes, a nice mechanical wing with lots of little plumage here, like red here, down feathers, and then silver with little polygons in them, and some adjustable, soft, flexible wingtips. These are pinned here. Much more feasible robot bird wings that could lift instead of these panels with feather-like details on them. She has a fully realized neck, like those ridges that go this way, like inverse of what you would typically expect for aerodynamics, but that's still a nice stylized design. The beak can't open. It is an unusual gray beak with a red head crest plumage. Bit unfortunate there is a screw hole here, kind of breaking the sculpt. And sure, this giant block on her back may just be so unsightly and unnecessary, but that is the chute. That is a compressed version of the chute. So at least the robot only rule of cool design, it makes sure to at least have this visual thing, I guess, just to indicate its status. And she has some wheeled skirt flaps, which is all of this entire side panel of the giant car just shrunk down into tiny little panels that don't get in the way. Yeah, it just still has that bit of vehicle design just still left in the robot mode just to indicate some details in the back, like these tendon-like lines here for the back of the legs. The back has some rectangles that kind of look like thruster rocket boosters. And a single long, thin plastic tail. Yeah, that is detachable. Yeah, but it might be a bit odd that a bird only has this tiny little stick of a feather instead of like a fully fan spread out feather. Oh yeah, and then, yeah, be sure not to let this thing topple or else, it's gonna flex the plastic. The only accessory she really has is this Xaver Wing, like this winged jetpack, which is a part of her front bumpers and the headlights. Yeah, just kind of a stylized, spread out, squashed, and angled. Yeah, so there is a clip all the way down there in which you attach that. Yeah, I guess that's her full mode. With, yeah, just extra boosts for extra bird flying. Yeah, probably is not that remarkable, just gives a little more surface area. But of course it looks cooler on Akan here, which this is hers to give to Akan. Yeah, so yeah, the wheels are up here and then they flip down here for the combination. There's a little clip back there. Now he is Xaver Akan. Yes, it's Akan with a cool giant wing pack that lets him fly higher. Yeah, it does kind of look like it is naturally part of him and not just the vestigial part of another robot. Yeah, it just kind of looks like an extra trailer part. Nice spinny wheels there. Maybe I would have liked this wing pack to have a few more moving parts. Like, maybe these wings could have folded in. And maybe extra tilting aileron flaps. Yeah, but as it is, yeah, it is a nice rendition of the jetpack. And of course, he uses more often. For Phoneixaver's articulation. Her neck can move up and down here, depending on the angle you want the torso to be at. And then a second neck joint here, only a bit that much. And a third neck joint here, yeah, just really curling the neck. opening beak, but there is no tab which you can catch your finger on. You just kind of have to press onto it and just kind of slide it back with friction. Yeah, but nice beak there. Ratchets all around. Wings flap down that much and up that much on some C-clips. Pinned soft feathers. The front one goes back that much. This one goes back that much. For leg articulation, she has a good all the way forward and all the way back. And then side skirts that move all the way around. And a nice obtuse spread. Chicken knees means it only goes that far. Nice to have a stopper there because, you know, it wouldn't be natural for the bird's knees to bend backward like this. A lower leg swivel. This isn't exactly a thigh swivel. And a good amount of ankle tilt. So those 2 feet joints allow her to get a pretty good wide spread on those no ratchet hinges. I guess it's the expected articulation for a robot bird. Yeah, and you hardly see any robot beast necks that go side to side, so this is to be expected. Yeah, but if this was any more like an actual proper kidult toy, maybe it would have more articulation. These two do look good together. Though, I'm pretty sure Phoenixaver is supposed to be bigger in the show, or this Akan should be a bit smaller, like I expected him to be. This DX set was just a sudden surprise, and this is something I would never have imagined to be in physical form, and I thought could only be possible through some far future kidult product. Yeah, but here, Choi Rock just came out with their very first premiere DX set. And this is pretty excellent. I mean, yeah, very show accurate. Not 100%, but yeah, but very good, close enough. Yeah, of course, I could have used a bit more articulation, but I'm sure it turned out pretty well for its budget. And it's a pretty pricey one, but maybe not as pricey as like a super real collectible. And this is a 2-pack, and obviously, Akan is the more interesting, desirable figure in the set. Just like a cool anime style mecha robot figure. And why couldn't this have been sold on its own at a cheaper price? Yeah, I guess she's here because, she is an associated character with Akan, this Wing Xaver accessory to Xaver Wing. Yeah, I guess this is pretty good. I mean, it's a pretty good bird. I mean, I guess the best thing you would expect out of a bird robot figure is just it can flap and talk. Alright, I know adult collectors really do want their character toys to be all in one. Yeah, you may really wish that this figure could just transform into his car mode. Just like a perfect complexity, just whether by some magical engineering, this shape could just reconfigure into this car boxy shape. Especially since there's precedence with the original Turning Mecard's high-grade toy line and the junior toy line, where they are robots that turn into their car modes. But here's the thing, Mecard is not Transformers. Mecard is an action anime toy line with toys that turn into cool animation priority cool characters. That's always been the trend of these Japanese, Korean, Asian toyetic toy lines. Mecard has cars and robots, but they're not one and the same. Hello Carbot and Transformers. The Mecard high-grade toys were pretty good for what they were, and they were representative enough, but they were not the most show accurate, and because they had to have transforming parts, they had to deal with a whole bunch of kibble and some car parts that had to be baked in there. Mecardables are never meant to be life-size cars. They were always depicted as tiny little mini cars that could grow into mighty mechanical warriors. That's what most toyetic animes are like. So a toy that directly transforms from a car to a Mecardable, assuming the same size, kind of defeats the purpose. Not that someone would particularly care. Do you expect a spherical Bakugan to perfectly transform into a very organic-looking creature? Do you expect 100 different panels to explode out into a form like that? Do you think 100 panels would make it possible to turn a very angular robot into a blocky car? Sometimes you just have to make concessions that the transforming animation models are just very stylistically different, and just as long as the recognizable parts are there, it's still believable that they could just magically transform into very different shapes of forms. In this case, I'd rather have an animation accurate robot only figure that clearly wasn't meant to transform in physical form. Then a transforming toy that focuses on the car mode that takes top billing but really compromises the robot mode, as with most movie Transformer toys. And there's good reason to make a non-transforming version of a character instead of whatever these Chinese mini-force toys are with their non-transforming versions of transforming mechs. Also kneeless. This one has 2 right feet. But now that Toy Rack has shown they can do this, we really want to see more DX toys of the Mecard ball robot designs that are pretty cool, like Petan and Zaz and the other humanoid robots. Of course, they're probably not going to do all of them if they continue this, because the creature Mecardomals are not going to be as popular, unless they bundle them together. And of course, I really would like them to go back to the older Mecard series and just make us show-accurate DX versions of Evan and Thanatos and the others. But at this time, Mecard has already finished production and airing all of its episodes and seasons, so it looks like active development on Mecard Ball is over, while Toy Rock moves on to the next toyetic anime, Charging Top Spinner, a real spiritual successor to their old Sanokang Beyblade days, and I guess to rival their company that has the Beyblade license. Just because the show's over doesn't mean they can't continue the Mecard DX toy line. It's never too late to make good toys of old beloved franchises, or reissue some old classic Mecard. Mecard's always gonna have its fans of its toys in, Korea and China, and it could have taken off in the West and the USA if it wasn't for Spin Master. Why did he have to be so cutthroat? If for some reason you like the Mecard Ball cars more than the Mecard Ball robots, then there's always the mainline toys. But for the definitive version of these characters, you really only need to get this set. I wouldn't say this articulated combiner suit is the most definitive version of Akan, but you're more likely to get an animation accurate version of a character if you're attached to the character. But if you're not particularly attached to the character and just like the cool Korean robot designs, then a non-transforming figure of a car robot might not be for you. And this is a pretty good articulated but not the best articulated robot action figure, so this might be a little pricey to ship over. Yeah, somehow I thought this was a good idea to put in luggage. In short, it might not be what you expect it to be, but it is very good for what it is. I recommend it if you like the design or are a Mecard Ball fan, and I hope they make more DX Mecard.